Okay, y'all, I just wanted to read through a couple articles with you guys about this Jordan Neely situation, just because I think it represents what is just wrong with our society as a whole, right? So the first article I'm gonna talk about is from New York Magazine, Intelligencer. The title of it is "The Outrage Over Jordan Neely's Killing Isn't Going Away." And I'm gonna skip down a little bit because here we have this eyewitness whose name is Juan Alberto Vasquez, just talking about the fact that they were coming from Brooklyn on the F train. The incident apparently happened at the 2nd Avenue stop in Manhattan, and this is where Jordan Neely boarded. Vasquez said that he started yelling. He started lamenting. Apparently, Jordan Neely started lamenting that he didn't have food, that he didn't have water. From what I understood, he was yelling that he was tired, that he didn't care about going to jail. I read someplace else that he said, "I don't care if I die. I don't care if I go to jail. I don't have any food. I'm done." The article goes on. Neely did not ask for anything and was acting in a, quote, very violent way, a very dramatic way, at one point throwing his jacket to the floor so hard that Vasquez could hear the zipper's impact. The people who were sitting around him, well, yeah, they were scared, and they stood up and they moved around the train car as Neely stood in place and kept yelling. So this is my entire thing, right? And this is what has been said in many news articles, that this Jordan Neely was yelling. He was through his jacket or something, but he wasn't assaulting people. He wasn't physically hurting people. And I think this is important to highlight, especially given the overreaction that's about to happen in the next paragraph. At that moment, Vasquez said, "This man came up behind him and grabbed him by the neck and forced Neely to the ground." About 30 seconds later, the train reached the Broadway Lafayette Street stop. When the two doors opened, everyone rushed out, obviously afraid because now there was an actual fight. I'm gonna skip around here. The video of the chokehold goes on for nearly 4 minutes. After 2 minutes, a man enters the train to warn that the chokehold could be lethal. "If you suffocate him, that's it," he says. "You don't want to catch a murder charge." One of the men responds, "He's not squeezing no more," and the veteran releases the chokehold. By this time, Neely is unconscious. And we're all looking at each other like, what's going on? Did he faint? What happened? Neely was transported to the hospital where he died of what the medical examiner's office determined to be compression to the neck, ruling on Wednesday night that his death was a homicide. Police took Penny in for questioning on Monday, and he was released, though detectives and prosecutors from the Manhattan District Attorney reportedly huddled on Thursday to discuss possible charges. Okay, I'm gonna read this next section and then we're gonna talk about it. So, a talented, tragic life. Neely grew up polishing the Michael Jackson routine that he first learned when his father, Andre Zachary, showed him the King of Pop's iconic music videos when Neely was just 4 years old. As a teenager and in his 20s, Neely, as we can see here, Neely danced in the subway for money, setting up at the 34th Street Herald Square station. Roger Green, a subway artist who performed with Neely in 2014, recalled seeing him dance for the first time. He had the same magnetism as Michael, said Green, whose act included roller skating and a mime routine. He made people like him, and when they saw him dance, they were blown away. He was a great kid trying to dance and make his money and was hustling like everybody else. He was a positive person all around, a gentleman. Green said that he never saw any violence. So this part here is important as well. In 2007, his mother was strangled. Neely's mother was strangled to death by her boyfriend and found in a suitcase. Neely testified during the murder trial, answering questions directly from the killer because the killer had represented himself. Afterward, he was never the same, according to his aunt Carolyn. It had a big impact on him. He developed depression and it grew and became more serious. He was schizophrenic, PTSD. Doctors knew his condition and he needed to be treated for that. He did not get the help that he needed. The whole system just failed him. He fell through the cracks of the system. Neely had been arrested at least 40 times in recent years. The last time was in November 2021 after he allegedly hit a 67-year-old woman in the face as she left a subway station. He was also apparently on a warrant, wanted on a warrant at the time of his death, though it's unclear for what, according to the Post. So I just think this is really important, because after the news of all this happened, of course, this white Marine got questioned. Daniel Penny got questioned and released the same day, right? Like, in general, the way that a lot of people are talking about, I honestly saw this CBS report where people in New York were commenting on the situation. And it just, I don't know, it just really displayed, like I said, what is so fucked up about this society, because people were commenting on the news report and they were saying, yeah, some people were saying, yeah, well, we don't want anybody to die. It's really unfortunate that Jordan Neely died. But the homeless issue has been a problem. The homeless issue is and it's just like, okay, I don't understand how people can't see that, like, these are systemic issues. They're problems that can easily be solved if people gave a goddamn. You see what I'm saying? Like, yes, of course, people want a peaceful ride to work or peaceful ride home from work, or just they want some sense of security and safety when they are on public transportation. That makes so much sense. Like, I get that, but I think that there is a lot of humanity missing from the conversation when people are even trying to discuss this and situations like this, right? Because it will just take a couple of missed paychecks for most people, one missed paycheck for most people, to end up in a situation where they're houseless, right? I mean, this guy was just dancing on the street. He was just saying, bitch, I'm fucking hungry. And he's saying he's so fucking hungry that he don't give a fuck about going to jail. You know what I mean? And I think that if we or dying, and I think that and on top of that, he's struggling, like I just pointed out, with mental health issues. So I think that if we as a fucking country, as a society, had some kind of infrastructure when it came to mental health, healthcare in general, you know what I mean? So I think that, of course, we in the late stage fucking capitalism. That's a whole entire conversation that you could have on that. But I also think that people really think that they are closer to Jeff Bezos, like they're closer to Bill Gates, than they are, Jordan Neely's goddamn, what his tax bracket used to be, what his tax bracket was. Like, I think a lot of people are so, just waiting for the right moment, especially if we're taking into account the factors of race and shit. I think they're just waiting, and class. I think that a lot of people are just waiting for a moment to pounce on somebody. This motherfucker wasn't trying to stab nobody on the train. He was just saying that he was hungry as hell. Yes, he was screaming. Yes, he was loud. Yes, he was throwing his jacket. But this white Marine jumped on his ass. And then I seen people talk about, oh, well, he was still fighting yeah, of course he was still fighting, because some white Marine jumped and put him in a fucking chokehold for how many fucking minutes? Of course. Like, I hate when people say that. You don't think you would be trying to fight back or get this motherfucker off your neck if somebody was squeezing the life out of it? Like, it's just, I hate it. The way this society is set up is absolutely wild. You got oppressed people trying to make a fucking way through, just trying to navigate this society, obviously not given the same kind of resources and tools to handle certain situations. That's why certain demographics deal with poverty disproportionately. Then on top of that, you got somebody with many people with mental health issues and fucking trauma. Our healthcare system is obviously a mess and favors the people who were born with $2 trillion in their fucking bank account. So you're already dealing with those issues. We don't even have a healthcare system. So now after that, you try to get your ass on while dealing with schizophrenia and depression and whatever, PTSD, all type of shit. You try to get your ass into this city, onto a subway, to try and make some money somehow, dance, do some type of dance, sing some type of shit, while you're dealing with mental health episodes and poverty and all type of shit. And then your last day is Marine choking your ass out. People do not see people who are experiencing homelessness. They don't see people who experience mental health issues. They don't see people who experience financial issues, as if y'all ain't gonna be on the same boat if you get fired or if you missed one paycheck. Like I said, a lot of people do not see people who are dealing with these kinds of situations as human beings. That's why he was so ready to get up and fucking choke this motherfucker out, this black motherfucker out. You know what I mean? If it was a white girl twirling around here throwing her jacket, would he have reacted the same way? The white boy doing the same shit? It reminds me of this video, right? Where, okay, apparently this guy, we're talking about, oh, these people are shoplifting or whatever. And it's like, instead of sitting your ass down, because TJ Maxx ain't gonna fight for your stupid ass, wherever they, you know, where they were quote unquote allegedly shoplifting from, TJ Maxx they're not gonna fight for your ass this hard, right? I mean, if you really felt that this fucking pressed and bad about that shit, more than the employees there, because you're not an employee, you could have written down the goddamn, you know, even I think that shit is crazy as hell to be writing down some shit that's writing down a license plate number to try and chase down motherfuckers who stole some shit allegedly, you don't even know, allegedly, that's insured. You know what I mean? I think that shit's crazy. But if it really bothered you that bad, you could have wrote down the license plate number and called it goddamn day. But bitch, this was framed as somebody being a good Samaritan in ABC News. Like this is how it was framed. So I think that a lot of people don't see black people as human beings in general, especially you poor or dealing with mental health issues. They don't see you as people in general. And so they waiting for the right fucking moment to unleash the violence that they've been wanting to unleash on your ass in the fucking first place. And they know the type of demographics, the poor, the people who are dealing, like I said, struggling with mental health issues, people who do not have access to a lot of resources, people who are trying to survive. They know that those kinds of people, a lot of people ain't gonna give a fuck if these white people come beat their ass there, and they know that. So it's just, this motherfucker getting called a hero, a good Samaritan. Yeah, we're struggling so hard trying to get to work. We need peace of mind. I can't believe this motherfucker was yelling on the train. It sucks that somebody died, but yeah, you know, we got to deal with the homelessness issue. But it's like, y'all don't actually deal with governments don't deal with the homelessness issue. They don't care. They don't care. And so like, this is the logical next step. Y'all, I mean, Trump was talking about rounding up people who are homeless and sending them to camps and shit. So it's like we do not see ourselves in the people who struggle with homelessness. A lot of people do not see, and it's just like, girl, that's you. Look, like, that's you, that's me, that's everybody. Like, we don't see them as human beings, you know? And that's why it's so easy for people to just get up and do what the fuck they want, because they would be called good Samaritans. It's, you know, yes, that degenerate, that motherfucker needed to get a job, and if not, I mean, it sucks that it happened, but, and it's just like, where is the humanity in that shit? It just really sucks that we as a society are complaining about an issue. Oh, there's people who don't have homes, they're crowding up the spaces, they're crowding up the trains, they're being loud on the train, they're yelling that they want some fucking food on the train. Oh, they're yelling, they're throwing their jackets. Like, it just sucks that we as a society continue to complain about these issues. And we, as a whole, I'm talking about governments, I'm talking about everything, like, as a whole, we don't do shit about it, you know? And so now we hear these disgusting remarks when we see Jordan Neely then been choked out. We hear these disgusting remarks from people who not that far away from Jordan Neely's motherfucking income, talking about, oh, well, you know, it shouldn't have happened. Oh, yeah, it's just really bad. But, you know, at the same time, the homeless issue, it's like, girl, we all collectively need to be doing something about these many social issues that plague our fucking society, or else shit like this gonna continue to happen, girl. Like, what? But yeah, it just sucks that in this society if you don't have immediate access to resources, you better not suffer from no debilitating mental fucking health issue. You better not have gone through no fucking trauma. You better be able to get your ass up and work 2, 3, 4, and 5 jobs. And if you can't, then we're just gonna toss your ass away. Sorry about it. You shouldn't have been fucking dancing and screaming for food on the motherfucking train. Like, that's a fucking terrible way to live. And I hope that we change it. On that note, thank y'all so much for watching. Please stay safe and make sure that you have a good goddamn evening.